Hi, this video is about a feasible olfactory augmented prototype framework for large language models. Regarding the existing studies, we do not find any large language models that can answer the questions related to its odor space, or we could say the surroundings, and none of the large language models is equipped with the olfaction modality. Accordingly, no olfactory augmented corpus exists. We ascribe this to the fact that no plug-and-play smelling surface is provided for the models, so we seek to find an olfactory augmented framework for embodying olfactory modality in large language models using smelling labels provided by the ENOS system. We study liquor classification in an application scenario. To this end, we first adopted a dataset that was released in 2021. The ENOS system is quite traditional. It contains 3 parts, including the air pumping system, the sensing system, and the pattern recognition system. 8 Chinese liquors were selected as experimental samples. This dataset has totally 240 recordings for all liquors. Since Chinese liquors have really high ethanol concentration, and the design of the ENOS is old-fashioned, we built a new ENOS system to collect the data from Korean beers. We selected Kelly, Terra, and Cass as target beers. They have different aromas and ethanol concentrations. We used totally 15 bottles of them, 5 for each. 4 copies of the ENOSes are used to form an olfactory sensory network. Each ENOS contains 19 sensors and has 22 channels for output, and they are placed at the 4 corners of a half-meter times half-meter grid. Each of them is controlled by a Raspberry Pi 5. We additionally developed a system to connect to the Raspberry Pi 5, activate the data collector, and download the data. All the experiments are conducted within a classroom at Hanyang University. While collecting the data, the humidity is around 20% and the temperature ranges from 10 to 16 degrees centigrade. The data is collected from a 50 milliliter of beer sample with a sample rate of 3 Hz. Each sample was contained in a transparent acrylic container. Each data collection lasts for 10 minutes. We finally collected 180 samples for 3 Korean beers. Here are some photos related to the experiment. We used 6 machine learning models as baselines according to previous ENOS study. By fine-tuning the hyperparameters, we trained 311 machine learning models on 2 datasets, and we also adopted 3 commonly used deep learning models for gas classification. They are temporal convolutional networks, DenseNet, and LSTM-FCN. Before conducting the experiment, we follow the original data downsampling for the Chinese liquor dataset. Then all the models are trained and evaluated by 5-fold cross-validation. For deep learning models, we trained the models within 200 epochs. We use NMW optimizer and cross-entropy loss to update the parameters. To be reproducible, all the random seeds are frozen at 1. We show the average performance of top 5 machine learning models and 3 deep learning models in the following 2 tables. We could see that the DenseNet outperforms the others and achieved 100% accuracy on 2 datasets. So we deployed the trained DenseNet in the smelling surfaces. As for the olfaction augmented large language models, we first make a corpus. We consider that there are 4 types of questions that are related. For the closed questions, large language models only need to answer yes or no. For the functional questions, the model actually needs to answer the questions in 2 steps. The first step is to answer yes or no. If no comes out, the models need to provide the correct label for the second question. For the open questions, the models need to provide the label and, of course, a short introduction may also be included. For the meaning-based questions, the models need to answer the question with the labels and their related knowledge. According to this categorization, we generate the questions using ChatGPT. And instead of directly generating the label-specific questions, we used an anonymous token object to represent all the labels, such that the questions can be extended by replacing the token with different labels. We manually filtered all the questions generated. Finally, we got 281 closed questions, 299 open questions, 51 funnel questions, and 152 meaning-based questions. And to build a corpus, we first split the questions into training and validation sets in 6:4 ratio, and we used ChatGPT to generate 43 answers similar to "I'm smelling object." The introduction of each liquor is also generated by ChatGPT. According to the properties of the questions, we randomly combine the answers to shape instruction, question, answer triplet. And we design two kinds of the triplet. The first one pushes the models to identify if the question is related to the smell. The answer is a command-like token to activate the gas label collector. The second kind of the triplet is assuming the gas label is collected. It is designed for generating the real answer to the question. Whether it is training or validation, the same question will not be repeated. The overall workflow is like this. The question will be input to the model together with the instruction. The LLM will identify the olfaction-related question and invoke the smelling surface to get the gas label. Then, the instruction in the second round will include the gas label. The LLM can generate the real answer according to this instruction and the question. We fine-tuned two DeepSeek models. All their hyperparameters are listed here. The models were trained on a single NVIDIA 880GB GPU. The validation loss is down to 0.05 within 5 epochs. After fine-tuning the models, we observed that when the gas classification model provides the labels according to their sensory data, the large language models can correctly answer our questions in different styles. For example, when I ask the closed questions, "Do you smell the Terra beer?" then it will give me an answer like, "Yes, I can sense through my nose that I'm smelling Terra beer." Or it will say, "No, my nose informs me that I'm smelling the cask beer." This is a simple web-based chatting room we built for showing the feasibility of our prototype. Since the e-notes installed in that classroom cannot connect to our lab internet, we simulate the sensory data collection by randomly selecting the validation samples. The web is implemented by Flask mainly. We power the system by a fine-tuned large language model and a trained densenet related to the beer dataset. We input the first question, "What are you smelling?" Then the system waits for the answers from the large language model. We could see that the system answers the question with both the gas label and the gas introduction. Next, we input another question. "Do you smell the Kelly beer?" It responds with an answer, "No, my nose informs me that the smell in the air is cask beer." We also conducted an investigation to find out what kind of the questions that the local people may ask. We designed a questionnaire to collect 4 kinds of the questions. Here are some of the closed questions we have collected. We observed that the large language model can answer most of the questions, but it can handle weakly on the rhetorical questions, such as, "It smells like terror, right?" We think that this is because of no such kind of the questions in our corpus. We are inspired to extend our corpus in the future. According to our delicate design of datasets, modeling, and web-based system, we confirm that we present a feasible olfactory augmented prototype framework to enable large language models' smelling capabilities. During use case studies, we find several challenges, such as the answers generated by selected large language models are not smart and natural, or models cannot answer the questions related to other gases. This inspires us to expand both the corpus and the sensory datasets. We will also explore more powerful large language models with retrieval augmented generation to answer questions towards any order in future work. That's all for our demonstration. Thank you for your attention.